Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
It is Steve Arterburn here with two really amazing people. I love doing radio with them better than anybody else. No, I'm just kidding. I just do love doing it with them. Dr. John Townsend.
We won't tell the others.
And Dr. Jill Hubbard are in the studio. Hi there, people. Wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Same here.
Hello.
John, your institute, I just got to mention that right up front. You are equipping, training. People can get a degree anywhere, but they don't get this, well, as you call it, this model that you put together. Mm-hmm. And really, to me, model sounds like a structure. But in that structure, your angle is so different than so many other people. That's what they get. And I am just so excited when I hear somebody, oh, yeah, I just signed up for the Townsend Institute. Now, last time you were here, you told us that they're really getting some great jobs and people love it, and it's all online. You don't have to go. But can you think of one of the students that just personally has really touched you, that they found the Townsend Institute?
Yeah, I've got a lot of stories in my head, but the one that just came to me was I like to go to the graduations, and this one I came up and said, congratulations. She was getting her degree in coaching. And I said, so how are you doing? She says, well, I was working in HR, human resources, in what I was doing to afford going here. And my boss came up to me when I was taking your courses about this, and my boss said, you've got these two people that hate each other on our team. The finance person hates the marketing person, which happens a lot, right? Finance wants to save the money, marketing wants to spend it. But they're not getting along, and the team's going downhill, and can you fix this? And she said, I started meeting with them, and I used the techniques I learned at the Institute about attachment, problem solving, these sorts of things. And they became friends, and the team did well. The boss, the owner of the company, came to her and said, where'd you learn this stuff? And she told him the Institute. He said, I'm going to pay for your tuition for the whole thing. And now he has her on his executive team.
Wow.
Oh, that's so
So we loved it because...
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's called
right
like
there.
all the residential schools are doing great, but we're online, and we're doing at least as well as the residential schools if people want a great job.
Because the residential schools are just teaching something out of a textbook that was outdated 74 years ago. You are in the thick of it.
This is based on my 30-whatever books, too. So they're getting the stuff that you hear on the radio.
Yeah. All right. And if you want to know about that, you go online to townsendinstitute.com. And really hope that you'll do that, because he's equipping some people to do what God has called them to do. Now, there is a workshop coming up, and it's called Courageous Parents, Transforming Relationships with Your Adult Sons and Daughters. And Jill is going to be one of the presenters at that. Mm-hmm. And Jill, boy, do we ever have difficulty out there with adult sons and daughters.
We do. It's like this surprise difficult age group that, you hear adolescents or when they're in those toddler years, but young adults, you have less power, and it's difficult. Kids are not growing up as fast as they used to.
For lots
August
of reasons.
13th. Mm-hmm. August 13th.
Yep.
We're going to deal with it. Most of the time when I'm working with our supporters and folks, it's about their adult children, and I'm so happy to do it. But man, if you're struggling, go to it's the least you could do, really, is to go online, join us. We're going to give you some answers, and they're going to be real, unlike the other people doing it that are really stupid. So
the strategies are really good at the workshop.
They are. All right. Also, I've got 10 tips to how to keep your kids from the entitlement trap. I've got 10 suggestions for you, including don't accept excuses. Ooh, man, there's your answer. Well, that's a big one, and there are 9 more. We'll be back after this. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop A lot of people are you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom online workshop is Saturday, August 20th. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie McHarris will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and we have the A-team in, Dr. John Townsend, Dr. Jill Hubbard. Really excited to do this with them. And so many things online that we're doing. Emotional freedom's coming up, and Every Man's Battle, the next one's going to be online. But right now, online, here's what we want to talk about, and that's going to be Glenn from Nashville, Tennessee. And Glenn listens to us right there on WNQM. Glenn, how you doing there?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Steve?
Doing all right. What's going on?
Good. I have the privilege of working part-time around some teenagers. A lot of these kids are just working through the summer. How do I talk to a couple of them that are cutting themselves? And one young girl overheard her say that she'd been to her therapist where she'd been talking about the guy who molested her. These kids are really in trouble. I just want to be able to try to reach them. You know, I do have a rapport with a couple of them. They will talk to me a little bit. The one from Friday, I was just talking to her a little bit when I sat down next to her on a bench out front. How you doing? And she said, I'm good. I said, I noticed her arm. I said, what happened to your arm? She said, I did it to myself. I said, what in your life would make you want to hurt yourself that way?
Yeah,
and she opened up. She began to tell me. So how I'm just way out of my wheelhouse here. You know, how do I talk to them, or maybe some materials or something?
Okay.
Yeah, I know I need to refer them to somebody.
Right. Okay.
But
I got a couple ideas, but I want to hear from
You go.
Jill and
You go,
John
Steve.
first. No.
Oh, okay. Glenn, I know it feels out of your league, but what you did was really positive and powerful.
Absolutely.
You are an
Absolutely.
adult man who is gentle and kind and saw that she was hurting. Do you know how many people see marks on the arms and never lovingly ask what's going on? The fact that she could verbalize to you her pain is doing something, is huge. And
Right.
she needs people outside of the people that hurt her and outside of her family where she can feel safe. So drawing her in like that. Yes, if she's not working with someone, then talking to her about maybe we need to find someone that could help you process some of this pain, because this is big. This is not something you can process all by yourself, right? But that doesn't mean you're not going to still be around, right? And that if she wants to check in with you, great. You know, you'd love to hear how it's going and how she's doing, and just speaking kind of love and God's truth, and that she belongs and she's accepted. Those are all really important roles for you as pastor.
So, John,
Well,
you
she
have
gave
some
me her
thoughts?
phone number and agreed to allow me to call her occasionally, you know, and I said, you call me anytime, 24 hours a day. If you think you want to hurt yourself or things are just getting that bad at home, go somewhere quiet and call me. I'll sit and talk with you.
Yeah.
And so she's going to do that. And the young girl that was molested, I talked to her a little while later, and I said, bless your heart, I'm so sorry that happened to you. how old were you when that happened? And she said between 14 and 16. And so she opened up a little bit as well.
Well, you know, you did the thing that is so rare. So many people in ministry, whatever, they will say something like, well, don't do that, versus
Right.
you
Or they're
got
afraid.
inside there. John, you have a thought before I have a thought?
Yeah, I thank you for being on the team there. It's really nice to hear this. Couple of things. One is, like Jill said, the goal is certainly not to fix them. The goal is to love them and they need listening. This generation desperately needs listening without a lot of advice. So,
Right.
you make sure they're getting help. I mean, the conversation's got to be get help, and if you're getting help, good. The fact that you're an authority figure, you're listening, all they want to do is just be able to say it and know they're not crazy. And the third thing is you're a man of God and you're a pastor. So look up some Bible verses that are about his love and, he's safe and all that. Let them see a picture of God through you so they come away going, I didn't get preached at. This guy listened to me and I gave him all the bad stuff and he still likes me. And he said, here's how to love God more. Those are wonderful things. I have a little concern about having them call you 24/7. Honestly, I want you to think about that, because then if you get parents involved, if there are authorities that may not think that's a good thing. It might be more call the church and no, you want me to see me and make an appointment. We'll check it out with your parents, but kind of go through the channels instead of just call me 24/7. That can be kind of a bad path, honestly.
That makes sense.
Okay, so really agree with that. And so here are my two little points. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about my wife saying to the cutter, next time you feel like cutting, you call me. I want you to do it by my side. So she calls, and I'm not suggesting you do what my wife did, but she goes there, and the girl goes through this whole ritual and everything until she gets right down to cutting. And, of course, now that she's talked it all through and everything and my wife is there was absolutely no need to cut. So one of the things that would be great is if, other than you, there was a female, a youth worker or someone, and this doesn't mean necessarily go to the cutter's house, but that would be available. If you feel like cutting, I want to be on the phone with you. I want to go through it with you. And many times that desire, it just takes all the power out of it. And then the second thing I would say is you might want to make a recommendation to her. You say, I want to be sure that you're not being influenced online with something that's happening to a lot of people in a lot of ways. It happens with young women with eating disorders. It happens with cutting and other things. But sometimes you get into an online community where you're kind of doing it with all of them versus out of some unmet need. It becomes part of the culture, and you've got to do it and take pictures. And if you're doing that, I just want to encourage you to see what that is. That isn't helping. It's hurting. And here's what we want to do. We want you to find other ways to feel better than this. And they're not going to help you do that. So I'm really glad that you're the kind of man that you are. You need some help if you're going to help these young women. And I hope your wife or some of the other women in the church there can step up and be there. But I think more than anything, your message is, I love you. I care about you. God is there for you. God isn't angry at you. Those kinds of things are just so very powerful. Yeah.
The little girl that said that she'd been molested, later on, I said, you're an awesome person. You got such a beautiful smile. You're an awesome young lady. She just beamed. I wish you could have seen her face. She just lit up. And they don't hear that stuff.
No.
Nobody's telling them that.
No.
Well, and especially not from a man who has boundaries, right, with them and is safe. That's a huge difference.
Huge.
And when a man who often in their mind represents shame represents pure, godly love and acceptance, that many times is a game changer right there. So glad that you called. I'm going to send you this little book, Healing is a Choice, because I do think it does heal so many folks. And I don't know, another book that might be helpful, Jill's book, The Secrets Women Keep, can open some doors and eyes there for you, and I hope that is helpful to you. All right, 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need some help, newlife.com. It's all there. We've got so many amazing things coming up, and I hope you'll join me and Mylan Yurkovich and Kay in D.C. for our marriage intensive. It really can make a pretty good marriage phenomenal, and it can turn an absolute disaster. We've done it before, where people literally hated each other, some with restraining orders, couldn't even stay in the same room. And they have a marriage that's better and fulfilling. In fact, research shows you hate each other, you stay together, you do the work, you're happier in 5 years than those people that divorce. And got to mention this, divorce, people say, well, I want to support a ministry that feeds children. Hey, when we keep a woman out of divorce, we're not talking about upper middle women that listen. Very, very close to poverty-stricken folks get divorces, and the woman and the children almost every time end up struggling to feed the kids. It's really bad. So when you support us, you are feeding children. Now, we're going to go back to the phones, and how about we talk with Patty, and she listens to WAVA right out of Washington, D.C. Hi, Patty. How are you?
Hi. I love you guys. I've been listening for years. You are my everyday counseling. I really love you, and I have given twice for the double the money, but that's not what I called
thank
today.
you.
Thank you. How can we help today?
Oh, brother. Okay. My grown son, wonderful guy, love him beyond all measure. But I bet you hear this a lot, politics today. I see things from, I guess, the right side of the spectrum, and he is like as far left as anybody could go.
Yeah.
And we were just talking last night and having a good conversation on the phone, and actually we're planning a trip for leaving on July 19th to go down to North Carolina and see his brother, my son, and, everything's hunky-dory. Honest to God, I can't tell you what I said. If I knew, I would tell you, but something that for him brought up, sorry, but Clarence Thomas, he's in the public, so I'll say his name. Oh, my God. Well, we all know about Roe versus Wade, but I was informed, and I have not heard a whisper about this, but that Supreme Court justice is planning on changing all the progress that has happened with the gay movement and take all of that away. I haven't heard that, and I said that. So we ended up, that's, you don't need all the details. They're not that important. He's like threatening to kind of punish me, which means keep distance for a while. So I'm obviously very hurt, but I'm also kind of angry. I've already made arrangements for a babysitter for my darling little puppy, and arrangements on my schedule to leave. And now I don't know if he's going to go or not go. So I am angry with him, but I'm mostly hurt, and that's why I'm calling.
Okay. Jill, you want to get us started here?
Well,
this is repeated in 1,000 homes every day.
Oh, yeah. It's just happening more and more. And I think, Patty, first of all, you're always the parent, right? So I think you have to say to your son, I love you beyond, right? You're my son. Yes. And I want relationship with you. And I realize we see things differently. And that is something that, it's perhaps an area that maybe is too difficult for us to venture into. But it's the idea of I can accept you in your differences. And I hope that the same grace can come my way. That having these differences, this just means you're growing up and you're doing your own ideas in your own life. And that's okay. That's what I raised you to do, to discern for yourself. And so I applaud that in you. And yet, I don't want that to be the downfall of our relationship, because I didn't raise you to be a clone of me. And so I hope that you can see that my heart is for you, even if we disagree.
Also,
that was great. The clone I'm going to use with him. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, it's kind of hard to argue against letting babies be born, and other issues are brought into this so that everybody can be against Roe versus Wade.
My husband was involved with pornography addiction. He was unfaithful.
I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict. There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, July 15th through the 17th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Tough times. It's a strange time. A lot of issues out there. And here's the thing. What are we called to do? Love people as Christians. Mm-hmm. And my son, James, speaks fluent Chinese. And so there's a place where Amelia and Misty get their nails done. They all speak Chinese. So James goes over with them because he wants to have some conversation. And he finds out the owner is a Christian. And he says, how in the world do you go from Buddhism to Christianity? She said, when we moved here, there were these people. They had this love we had never seen before. And then they loved us in ways we had never been loved before. And she said, it just was really simple. I wanted to be part of that. And so she accepted Christ and the whole family. It's just such a story of how people respond to love. And that's what we need to do above all else. All right. Well, I'm really glad you're with us. I'm so glad John Townsend is with us, and he's always a blessing. He's been a great blessing to my life, and many of you think that I'm a little off, you know. Well, just imagine what it would be like if John had not been my friend. No, it would be horrible. So thank you, John. You know, one of the great passages of Scripture that all of us ought to keep in mind, Romans 12:3 says, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. And how many people think they're so important, or they've gotten it together and there's no problem, and then they just fall flat. And God, the best protector from humiliation is being a humble person. Well, to that end, let's go talk to somebody else. How about we go to Ann, Washington, D.C. Let's talk to Ann. How you doing, Ann?
I'm good. Well,
good.
Not really, but yeah. My issue is I have a son. He's in his late 30s. He's been in prison. He did 8 years, then he went back for another 5 years. So he did 13 years in prison. He got out last year, in December the 1st. His daddy's always in my ear negative about him. And I believe he's doing something on drugs or something. I'm not sure. But the last time I talked to him was 2 weeks ago. And he told me he didn't have nothing to eat for 2 days and he's hungry. And I sent him some money. And his daddy was coming over to talk to him, which his daddy never been in his life. But his daddy was like, well, he need to grow up. And he was going to go over there and talk to him. So that thing I did is after I talked to my son and we was talking, he told me he didn't eat for 2 days and he's hungry, and I sent him some money, and then he hung up on me, but I called him back. And when I called him back, he was just saying, well, he didn't need nobody and he didn't need no help. And I was trying to explain to him he needs somebody to help him but people just want him to do the right thing. But whatever.
Okay. So what's the question for us then? Yeah.
This is it. I stopped and I said, okay, something's going on. I think he's on drugs. He's doing something, which he did do some past tense, but he went into prison. I blocked him so he can't call me or he can't not do me or FaceTime me. So is that the right thing to do?
Okay. Well, let's start with John. What do you think is that in this very complicated and really difficult situation? You think that's the right thing, John?
And I wouldn't do it. There are times. I heard a sound, Ann. What was that sound?
That was me taking a deep breath.
Oh, sorry. Did I come on too direct?
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm good. Okay. You're good. I'm good. We're all good. That's good. Because I care about your situation. There are times we need to block our phones. And there are times when we're in danger, especially, or being harassed. Unless your son's calling you multiple times a day, making threats, taking up all your time, I wouldn't block it. What I do is I let my phone go to voicemail, Ann. And then I pick him up later and see who I can answer, who I cannot. So if what he's doing is bothering you, just, he's your son, put it on voicemail. So no, I wouldn't do it in this case you've said. But let me tell you what I would think beyond that is to have a conversation with him and say, I need you to get some help. It sounds like you're struggling. And you can give him a referral to a good church, a good community service, a good counselor, and I would encourage him to get help. If the young man he's in late 30s, if that's the kind of situation, whether mom buys him food or not is not as important as his life. I would start encouraging him to get real help. Church, community, counseling, something like that.
And given what you've said, I would never send him money ever again.
Yeah.
I would tell him, hey, I've got a gift card waiting for you at the local supermarket, that kind of stuff. But no, and I wouldn't do it even at a pharmacy because, pharmacies sells liquor and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I really think you have to let him hit bottom. And if prison was not enough, what's it going to take? And him just in survival mode, which he is, it's not going anywhere. And your husband going over just to have a talk with him, probably going to just...
I'm not married. That was his father.
Okay. All right. We'll be back after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C. July 22nd to the 24th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. And so, just to finish up, I really think it would help to get some impulse control there. Don't answer the phone, like John said. Let it go to voicemail. And I don't think somebody that hasn't been in his life going over to talk to him, I just don't know that that's going to make anything better.
That father hasn't earned the right.
Yeah.
With this son, right?
That's right. So I will. Let's see. What could we send him that might be the best? Well, I'll send you boundaries, because that's just what you've got to exercise, and it's never easy to do that. And we'll send you once again, Take Your Life Back, and see if that could be helpful to you. I'm so sorry. Sorry for him, what he's going through. But there are folks that they really have, you think they've hit bottom, they go to prison. They're about 8 inches deeper is the bottom they have to go to, and it just really sad.
And you can be an emotional support without catering to them, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you said that this father hasn't earned the right. Larry Sonnenberg has earned the right to come in here and tell us about some great thing that has happened in the life of some great person, because we have a great God. Don't let me down, Larry.
And as Larry is the functional father of this organization.
That's right.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's paid his dues here, Steve.
Yes.
Yeah, and folks, when you give, you're contributing to great things that are happening to people. That's the big message we want to get to you.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, Restore, the workshop for women whose hearts have been really hurt, been betrayed because of their husbands or mates' sexual infidelity. That starts tomorrow, and it is not too late to sign up. And if you want to be the last person to sign up, call today and make it happen.
Yeah. And let me just mention this before we go on. I've been where you've been, and you may be thinking, hey, he's the one that messed up. He's got the problem. But you know what? When my wife was unfaithful to me, she gave me a problem. I was the one that now was responsible to get rid of all bitterness, resentment, and anger. Not for him, not for her, but for me. The less I did that, the worse my life was. And so you're going to carry around this thing that's happened to you for years, But we've got a way for you not only to get rid of that, but to restore you back to your relationship with God. Maybe the marriage gets better. I don't know. But you can get better. That's what Restore is about. And you call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can't afford it, ask them about scholarship. Maybe that's the way you go. All right, Larry,
Jill,
back to you now.
Jill, read this testimony for us.
Okay. Before coming to the workshop, I felt like I was on a roller coaster, one day up, one day down. I had no confidence in standing for what I think should be. Everything was a secret, and I was incredibly burdened carrying my husband's issues, covering for and protecting him. It was exhausting, depressing, and debilitating. This weekend has been miraculous, truly. It has given me tools, hope, and connection. It has been a game changer, and I'm returning home stronger and determined. I am leaving the workshop with a network of sisters and the confidence that I deserve to work on me. If you are struggling with your husband's sexual infidelity, do not hesitate to come to this workshop. Jump in. Though it's been scary, it is the most amazing experience of my life.
Amen.
What can be better? Miraculous, a game changer. Yeah. Ladies, that's what you're looking for. We know that is, and we know you don't want to do it because it's painful, and you don't think you should have to. But you know what? Sometimes life just delivers things that we don't expect.
Right, and this is a way to get out from underneath your husband's shame.
There you go.
Right? Yep. Because we women, we just take it on ourselves, right? And so you got to get out from under it.
So call today and sign up. Please call today and make a gift. You can be a part of all the wonderful things that are happening here at New Life. It starts with you, but it's all good stuff, and we are looking forward to you being in partnership with us.
And we always talk about how grateful we are that somehow God lets us be used for what God wants to happen in people's lives. And to see these transformations just in the way people think or the way they relate to God, it's amazing. It's just incredible. And so if you want to be part of Amazing, call and say, I want to be part of Amazing. Here's my support. It'll be matched. We'll double it. And, I can't tell you you're going to get more money back in blessing because that's what happens in Vegas. You bet it, and then you get money. But here, I'm going to tell you this. God says, why don't you test me? You give, and you test me, and just see if I don't just bless you right back more than you ever dreamed. Not in the form of money, but in many, many other ways. God will not fail you in that. Anything else you want to share with us, Larry?
Two short little things. One is, it's why we say, can you believe we get to do this around here at New Life? It's just amazing. And thank you. Everybody, thank you. We so appreciate that you are a part of the journey that we're taking to help people get their lives restored.
I've never had anybody say, I really regret giving a New Life.
Yeah.
I mean, the stories and the transformation and the tears, nobody says that.
Yeah.
I told somebody today, you come to our workshop, if it doesn't work, we will refund your misery. And they understood that. They appreciate that. And
mercy.
Actually, anyway. Okay. Thanks, Larry.
Alrighty.
And we're going to go right back to the calls. Good. And so grateful for you and all that you've done for this ministry and all God has done through you. And I'm just thankful God let me be an influence in your life. No, just the opposite. You've been an influence in my life.
That's for a different show, Steve.
That's right. I don't know.
It'll take some time.
Good thing we're all laughing.
Larry will be attending our resentment workshop in November. All right, let's go to Beth.
I thought he was in a group called Steve-Anon. Do you know anything about that, Steve? I don't know.
I do. All right. So, Larry, as you leave the studio talking under your breath, Beth from Providence, Rhode Island, and she is watching on YouTube. We're glad she does. Hi, Beth. How are you today? What's going on?
Hi. Good. I'm so excited that you guys are all together and John's there, and I've been listening since 2001.
Oh my
gosh.
And
it'd be great if you can have Henry Cloud on the show again. That's just really exciting.
Reunion time, right?
Yeah. So thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. We love Henry, and I'll tell him that we had a request for his presence right here. Yeah. All right. So how could we help?
All the gang back together.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
So my question is, how long does it take to heal and recover from sexual brokenness? I've watched videos on YouTube on sexual brokenness, and I know that he talked a lot about love and how love changes and helps to heal our hearts from sexual brokenness and past of sexual abuse and trauma. And I was just wondering, how long is there like a time frame that takes, or?
Yeah. Well, could you tell us what happened to you? Give us a little better idea of what you're recovering from.
Just severe sexual abuse.
And this was when you were how old?
So it started when I was 3.
Oh, sorry.
That's horrible.
And I was abducted and kidnapped, and when I was 3, and just horrific abuse.
And has anything helped you at all? Is there anything that makes you think, I can be in a better place, I can not only get over this, I can get beyond it? Anything?
The Lord. My relationship with the Lord. But I was just wondering, I've been in it a very long time in recovery.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, is there a time frame where it's like, okay, I've done this, I've worked on this, it's over, like, and then I can move on with my life? Because it's been about 20 years now. And it's just very tiring, like it's exhausting. And I was wondering, is there ever a time where you like fully recover?
So sorry for what's happened. Well, you hear the music. I have to go to a break. Then when we come back, we're going to help you with this. So you hang on right there. You're listening to New Life Live, and such a tough thing. 3-year-old child.
Unspeakable.
But even in these situations, I mean, God has provided a path of healing and repair and restoration. It's a difficult path. And a lot of people, they never ever even attempt that path. As difficult as it is not as difficult as carrying that pain throughout your life.
I have a 4-step path we could talk about, Steve.
All right, we'll do that. Right after this, we'll be back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back and just hearing one of these horrific stories. John, why don't you take it from here and talk with Beth about the abuse that still is not resolved after all these years?
Beth, first off, we were all really just kind of sobered by your story, and you'll be getting prayers. Just wanted you to know that. Still there?
Hello?
Did you hear what we just said? Hello?
I didn't hear that last part. I'm sorry.
No, I just said that we were all sobered during the break about your story, and you'll be getting prayers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I need them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I have these 4 things I want to go into. When people ask that question all the time, how long have I got to go through this hard stuff? And I have a formula. But first, are you getting psychotherapy by a licensed clinician?
Yes, I have a New Life counselor.
Okay, good. And are you going, like, how frequently?
Once a week.
Okay, there you go. But I assume you haven't seen the person for 20 years, right?
No.
Okay, all right.
Past 6 months.
All right, so you're in the kind of the beginning phases and all that. But when we get frustrated about what's going on, let me give you kind of the way to look at it. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you a time or date because the research just doesn't do that. But my answer is yes, you can heal. I've seen many people heal from this, even as heinous and unspeakable as what you've been through. Yes, you can heal. So let's start with that. And here's the 4 things. And talk to your counselor about these 4 things. The first is how severe the damage is. There's mild, moderate, and severe. So number 1 is how severe. Number 2 is how early the damage is. Well, yours was very early, and it was severe.
And severe, yeah.
So you've got tough stuff on those 2 out of the 4. The third is what are your resources? Now, thank God you've got a New Life counselor and you're seeing this person for 6 months weekly. That's really good because some people have no resource. I work with developing countries and they've got nothing but a pastor every Zoom every month or something. Thank God you've got somebody who's got the training. And then the 4th one is the hunger. Jesus said, "Blessed are you when you hunger and thirst for righteousness." Means I'm willing to face it, do the work, do what's hard. I need to do all of the boundary setting. I need to do all of the reliving, graduated reliving. I've got to do all the working on my attachment. I've got to do all the forgiving and all the grieving. But the New Life counselor can help you with that. It takes a number of ways that the counselor helps you, but that's the formula for the 4 things that determines how long this is going to take.
And I would, if I were you, I would say to the New Life counselor, do you think it's time for maybe me to get some specific help from a trauma specialist and then come back to you for ongoing? That would be a good question.
Or is this person a trauma specialist?
Yeah, and are we ready for that? But I hope and pray you won't give up just because it hasn't happened. Your healing in the best of situations is going to take a long, long time. And the other thing I would want for you is to have a group of 3 or 4 women outside of that therapy that are just loving on you and really being God to you. Jill?
Mm-hmm. And Beth, it's good to look back and look over time and all the work that you have done. Instead of looking for the answer, look at how it all works together. And have you made any progress? Right? And I realize it's you're still wanting more progress, but some progress is a good direction to go.
Yeah, it might be progress over I couldn't get out of bed in the morning for a year and not work to I'm working now even though I feel really bad. So Jill's got a good point. There's always that beginning
Where is your
point.
life functional, right? And to see the positive things that are taking place.
All right, I'm going to send you Healing as a Choice. I hope that will help in the process. I don't have much time, but I'm going to go to Lucy right here at the end. Cincinnati, Ohio, listens online. Lucy, can you ask us a deep question in as little time as possible, and we'll try to help you before we go.
Yes. I have lost kids and home through a separation
And my question is, how long do I wait for reconciliation or go after seek a divorce?
So how did you lose the kids and a home?
Well, I was also going to say, though, I'm just puzzled because I'm not taking great care of myself right now either.
Okay. How did the kids go away from you?
Well, hold on a second. Are you in any kind of danger? That question that you said, I'm not taking great care of myself, kind of got my attention. Are you, what does that mean, I'm not taking care of myself?
Just not like I used to.
You
mean not sleeping, not I'm eating poorly?
Like you're dysregulated?
Yeah, that kind of stuff?
No, just in everyday life, just during the day, not taking good care of myself, not.
So you're not thinking about hurting yourself then?
No.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Just not. I think it's mainly because I was removed from the home. I was basically kicked out.
Well, I think you're depressed then.
Yeah.
There's some depression there.
Back and forth from family members' homes, not in my house right now. So.
All right, so we have about a minute to give you some help here. So, what could we say, given what we know, what could we say that might be helpful? I am going to ask her to hold on so that one of our folks at the call center can talk with her further. But
well, I think you need some people around you that can support you, whether those are family members from a church, legal help, legal aid even. You need to get information so that you can take better care of yourself, because it sounds like you're just, like you said, floundering right now.
Absolutely. And what we're looking at, Lucy, is here's the principle. Don't make major life decisions when you're not in a stable place emotionally. You're not stable. You're depressed. You got kicked out of your house, and everything is upside down. This is. I would tell you not to buy a car right now, much less decide on divorce and reconciliation. So get stable, health-wise, relationship-wise, all that stuff. Seeing a good counselor, healthy church, and then once you're stable and your brain's working right, then the question down the line is the divorce reconciliation line. So keep those in order.
Well, let me send you also this little book, Take Your Life Back, because I want you to be back in the saddle again, where God wants you to be. God does not want us to be living so depressed and in so much pain that we don't even care. And we're going to help you, so you hang on. Now, we have so many things that we could do to help you. There are counselors, there are resources, books, CDs. There are videos, many videos. You go to newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We really do feel a desire, a deep desire to make life better for you. We love it when God uses us to do that. You call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And, we've got marriage weekends. We've got weekends to help you with every man's battle or to help you restore your life. But if you don't call us, we can't know what to tell you to do, so do. It's just 1-800-NEW-LIFE. So grateful to be with John every time I am. Thank you, John, for coming by. It is the Townsend Institute.org to hear about what he's doing. .com, I'm so sorry. And then TownsendInstitute.com. Dr. Jill Hubbard, thank you, bless you, and to all of you, have a very, very good day.
Thanks for
See
listening.
You next time.
We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.